is in somewhat, some social engineering going on here. There's a lot of dots to connect to make that happen. But I'm just giving you a broad example of how
people had to fight at the right time. He monopolized the business. But the problem was, it only made him money and the people he was fighting. It didn't make money for the whole sport. So what he did himself a great job.
To do that, he had a 1-year suspended jail sentence in 2004. And then he was arrested again for a bouncer at a nightclub, getting another 90-day suspended sentence. Then was arrested for up his ex-girlfriend Josie Harris.
Ice Cube didn't hold back from throwing shade at the system and sending a loud message. He says the same elite people who sign checks also build the prisons. So, when someone like Floyd Mayweather gets tangled in fraud rumors, it barely matters. They own the punishment, they own the profit. It's all rigged. Cube's not just talking beef, he's exposing how deep the game runs.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons.
Literally the same people?
Literally the same people. It seems really suspicious. The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s widely publicized $42 million real estate deal in New York City has come under scrutiny. While Mayweather claimed to have purchased over 60 buildings in Upper Manhattan, property records indicate that ownership has not officially transferred from the previous owner, Black Spruce Management. This suggests that Mayweather may have acquired only a minority stake with options for future expansion rather than full ownership. Mayweather's real estate firm, VA Properties, has not publicly confirmed the specifics of the deal. The lack of transparency has led to questions about the legitimacy of the investment and whether it was more of a publicity move than a substantial acquisition. Notably, Mayweather has credited Jonah Renitz, a convicted felon involved in a federal corruption case, as a pivotal supporter in his business ventures. This situation raises concerns about the authenticity of Mayweather's claims and the potential implications for his reputation. As the details of the deal remain unclear, observers are left questioning the true extent of Mayweather's involvement in the $42 million property transaction.
I hope the $402 million ain't left his bank account yet, then. I remember Floyd was on a talk show, I think 50 Cent posted that as well. And he said something like, they say, if you know how much money you got, then you don't really got enough money. So they say, if you know how many buildings you got, then you ain't got enough buildings. Como? Who told you that? I hope your real estate broker or investor, whoever handles this real estate, I hope they ain't tell you that.
Floyd Mayweather has faced several legal issues throughout his life, including multiple arrests and convictions. In 2002, he was convicted of 2 counts of domestic violence and 1 count of misdemeanor battery, resulting in a 6-month suspended sentence and community service. In 2004, he received a 1-year suspended jail sentence and counseling after being convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor battery against 2 women. In 2005, he pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor battery charge after an altercation with a bouncer, receiving a 90-day suspended jail sentence. In 2010, Mayweather was arrested for a domestic incident involving his ex-girlfriend, leading to a 90-day jail sentence, community service, and a domestic violence program. Additionally, in 2018, he settled charges with the SEC for failing to disclose payments related to cryptocurrency promotions. These incidents have impacted his public image and raised discussions about accountability in sports.
It was Floyd Mayweather who called up Will Smith every day for 10 days straight, with Will Smith saying that the only reason Floyd Mayweather called was just because he wanted to make sure he was okay. And Will Smith said before that he only met Floyd Mayweather a couple times before, calling him an acquaintance, but now would call him a friend for life. I don't think Will Smith should be saying this because Floyd Mayweather was arrested in 2002 for punching 2 women at his nightclub. And due to that, he had a 1-year suspended jail sentence in 2004. And then he was arrested again for assaulting a bouncer at a nightclub, getting another 90-day suspended sentence. Then was arrested for beating up his ex-girlfriend Josie Harris, which is someone he was 10 years old, testified against his father saying he was assaulting his mother. So Will Smith is not a bad guy, but clearly made a mistake at the Oscars, and it's not a good idea for him to go befriend Floyd Mayweather.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when speaking on Floyd Mayweather's impact on boxing. In a sharp critique, Jones said Floyd added a mindset to the sport where the focus shifted from legacy to money. He made great money, no doubt, Jones said, but he did it for himself. According to Jones, Mayweather's fights became million-dollar paydays, but only for him and his opponents, not for the rest of the boxing world. Jones argued that Floyd turned boxing into a personal money-making machine rather than lifting up the sport or other fighters. He hurt the sport, Jones claimed, pointing out how young fighters now chase the bag instead of greatness. To him, Mayweather's legacy is more about financial gain than true boxing glory, and that's changed how the sport is approached by the new generation. A powerful statement from a legend who values the sport over spectacle.
Not because he did a great job, but he did it for himself, and it worked for him. But everybody now wants the Mayweather concept, because Mayweather made so much money, staying undefeated, waiting till the right time to fight Pacquiao, finding the right people to fight at the right time. He monopolized the business. But the problem was, it only made him money, and the people he was fighting. It didn't make money for the whole sport. So what he did himself a great job, but it hurt the sport, because not everybody wants to fight, stay undefeated. You understand me? Me, it's like when two guys get hit, they gotta meet. No, wait. They was here 5 years ago. Yeah. They should have met. You understand me? Because now, we probably could have got 3 good fights out of it. You understand me? But because we waited too long, the problem what people don't understand is, tomorrow's not promised to nobody. Guess what?
Floyd Mayweather Jr. has often showcased his real estate ventures, claiming ownership of multiple skyscrapers and a vast portfolio of properties. In a 2021 interview at the WBC convention in Mexico, he stated, "One of the buildings I own is the tallest commercial building in America," referring to One Vanderbilt, a 93-story skyscraper in New York City. However, reports indicate that Mayweather invested $50 million in the project, which is a minority stake rather than full ownership. More recently, Mayweather announced a $42 million deal to purchase 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan, asserting full ownership. Yet property records do not reflect a transfer of ownership from the previous owner, Black Spruce Management.
Real estate, commercial real estate, skyscrapers actually. So what I did was this. It started off with $5 million. Put up $5 million, I was getting $50,000 a month. On every 18th, every month, it was paying off.
You like the cash flow?
Yes, for years. So I said, okay, if it's paying off like this then, and I gave him 7 figures, I said, I'm not gonna even give him 8 figures. I went and gave him 9 figures. If it's something that I know is paying off, lucrative and heavy, I got to go with it. Roll the dice, take a chance. You only got one life.
Business Insider revealed that he only had partial ownership in these properties, leading to accusations of dishonesty. As a result, people have started to question his past real estate claims too. If this $42 million deal wasn't fully real, how much truth is there in the rest of his empire? Floyd Mayweather has built a reputation not just as a boxer, but as Money Mayweather. A man who constantly brags about his wealth, whether it's all true or not. He's known for flaunting his riches, from luxury cars to private jets, and now skyscrapers. Recently, he claimed to own $42 million worth of property in New York City, but reports revealed he only has partial ownership, casting doubt on how much he really controls. Many believe Floyd does it all to make people jealous and keep his flashy image alive. He once said, he feels like everyone should have a piece of something in NYC, presenting himself as both successful and generous. But critics argue it's more about show than substance. This pattern of exaggeration raises questions about what's real in his portfolio and what's just part of the brand he's crafted over the years.
I mean, oh my God. I didn't buy New York, but I feel like everyone should own a piece of the earth. And I feel like you can't go wrong with New York real estate. So what I did was, in one of my portfolios, because I don't know the exact number, because they said if you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more. And in 99% of my buildings are in New York City.
Wow. You donated millions of money and buildings to victims of the LA wildfires. And I saw that. That was a cool thing you did.
I feel like if you're in a position to give back, why not? You know, we have a great team.
If Floyd Mayweather truly had the wealth and success he often boasts about, why would he engage in questionable actions like not paying for expensive jewelry and racking up debt in Dubai? In 2021, he and rapper Tyga reportedly worked with a watch broker to purchase luxury items, including high-end watches and diamond jewelry from Miami jeweler Leonard Sulyanov. However, after making some upfront payments, no further payments were made, leading Sulyanov to file a lawsuit in August 2024. The suit claims Mayweather and Tyga owe nearly $4 million, accusing them of fraud, breach of contract, and violating the RICO Act, among other charges.
How Floyd Mayweather and Tyga might get away without paying $4 million in jewelry. So a lot of wealthy people buy assets or luxury items under business entities. This allows them to pay less tax while also having protection against lawsuits personally. In this case, Tyga and Floyd used a watch broker and some upfront cash to make the deal go through. But as the days passed, no payment was made on the balance that was due, and even their agent admitted they owed $4 million. So what these two did is they signed and paid using a business, and then before paying the full amount, gifted it to themselves on behalf of the business that bought it. Therefore, the broker can't go after Floyd or Tyga because they didn't buy it from them personally. A business that they may control bought it and then gifted it to them, but in this sense is completely separate. But what they did is how the rich get richer. Us in our daily lives have no protection from lawsuits, but as soon as you use a business, the laws completely change. So I'm not saying you should do this or that they'll even get away with this, but it's definitely an interesting way to get expensive jewelry cheaper.
Floyd Mayweather's actions have often raised questions about his financial ethics, particularly when it comes to his relationships with others in the industry. Despite his enormous wealth, Mayweather has been criticized for leaving people to suffer financially, including contractors like Logan Paul and 50 Cent, who have publicly accused him of unpaid debts. If he truly has such vast sums, why let his reputation suffer over money owed? This issue became glaringly clear when Mayweather was asked why he chose to fight Logan Paul instead of a legitimate boxer like Tyson Fury. His answer was revealing. Logan had more followers. This starkly contrasts with the competitive spirit that once defined Mayweather's career. To many, including Stephen A. Smith, this response signaled a fundamental shift in Mayweather's priorities. He was no longer boxing for legacy or challenge, but for attention and financial gain. Floyd Mayweather once dominated the sports world as the highest-paid athlete, earning respect not just in boxing, but across all industries. His name was synonymous with meticulous planning and financial success. However, recent revelations about his financial dealings are casting doubt on his once unshakable image.
Mayweather, the highest paid athlete, not the highest paid boxer, the highest paid athlete in the world. I had the opportunity and pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3, 4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the cars follow him and he's running down the Las Vegas Strip, down back streets.
For years, Mayweather has paraded his immense wealth, often showcasing extravagant purchases like his $1.8 million watch, a flex that left even the most seasoned stars in awe. His lifestyle seemed like an unending showcase of luxury, with flashy cars, private jets, and lavish homes marking his every move. However, as new details surface about his financial dealings, those same symbols of excess are now being scrutinized. What was once seen as a sign of success is beginning to raise questions about the sustainability of his fortune, leaving many wondering, is all that glitters truly gold? Floyd Mayweather has spent years boasting about his wealth, flaunting his lavish lifestyle at every opportunity. However, as his financial situation deteriorates, the truth behind his downfall becomes evident. His excessive spending and poor investments have left him struggling. Now, in an attempt to prove he isn't broke, Mayweather falsely claims to own multiple properties despite sources refuting these assertions. While he's long touted his independence in both boxing and business, this approach has backfired. Relying solely on himself without financial advisors has led to questionable decisions, highlighting the dangers of managing wealth without proper guidance.
Who negotiates those deals? Me. Well, you gotta. I'm a little different from every other athlete and entertainer because I keep 100% of the revenue. That's never been done before. I'm my own boss.
There's no manager. There's no agent.
No.
There's no pimp for Floyd.
No.
Wow.
I have a team. And it's a little. I guess I'm lucky.
So you're negotiating that transaction yourself.
Well, exactly. This is how it works. They know my number because I've already before.
Adding fuel to the fire, Chael Sonnen, a former UFC fighter and analyst, exposed a troubling truth about the Mayweather versus McGregor fight. According to Sonnen, the event wasn't the financial success it appeared to be. He claimed that many of the seats in the arena were left empty, and to create the illusion of a sold-out crowd, people were dressed up to fill the gaps. As someone who attended and covered the event live, Sonnen called out Mayweather's PR team for orchestrating this deception. Despite the broadcast presenting the fight as a record-breaking, sold-out spectacle, Sonnen revealed the truth behind the scenes. He even shared that his own mother's ticket purchase that day didn't reflect actual attendance. The truth was far from what was presented on screen. There were thousands of empty seats. For Sonnen, it was the first time he'd witnessed such an instance of fake news firsthand. He also pointed out that despite the fight's supposed popularity, the financial results didn't align with the hype. Behind the scenes, there were more empty seats and a greater need for media buzz than expected.
I mean, it's such two big draws. They promote it so well.
All anybody was talking about.
Yeah, there's still a number.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how big it draws, there's still a number. If this guy got 100 million, this guy got 100 million, then you got to advertise it, promote it. You got to bring
it's the guarantees that kill everything. If they were just getting percentages, then obviously everybody would.
You're saying the seats were empty. I can understand it not making the money, but the seats being empty seems
peculiar.
Yeah, and there's nothing in the world where you have a pay-per-view hit that didn't have a live audience hit. Like if your live audience is your first focus group, isn't sold out, you didn't do pay-per-view numbers.
Sure.
But boxing will still claim that to this day. They still to this day claim that that's number one. And if you want to be the biggest pay-per-view in boxing history, all you have to do is...
Floyd Mayweather, renowned for his boxing achievements, has become a polarizing figure in the years following his retirement. While his dominance in the ring is unquestioned, his post-retirement actions have drawn significant criticism, particularly his focus on exhibition matches and reckless spending. After stepping away from professional boxing in 2017, Mayweather turned to exhibitions against figures like Logan Paul and John Gotti III, which many viewed as opportunistic money grabs. These bouts were widely criticized for lacking competitive integrity, with some, including Oscar de la Hoya, labeling them as rigged. Such decisions have raised questions about Mayweather's priorities, whether he's truly interested in boxing for the sport or simply chasing financial gain. His extravagant lifestyle, coupled with questionable business choices, has further complicated his legacy. Fans are now left wondering if Mayweather's true passion for boxing has been overshadowed by his pursuit of fame and fortune. Once a symbol of financial success with his own promotions and ventures, Mayweather now faces troubling financial struggles. Reports have surfaced about his recent detention in Dubai over unpaid debts, sparking rumors about his once untouchable wealth. Despite his lavish lifestyle and public displays of riches, Mayweather's financial mismanagement has raised questions about the sustainability of his fortune. It's possible that his excessive spending combined with poor financial decisions has led to these issues. His need for constant attention and the pressure to maintain a luxurious image could be major factors contributing to his current predicament.
Well, in today's news, they're trying to convince the public that Floyd Money Mayweather is broke. All right. Oh, successful boxer. Do you want to know how to be woke? Do you want to know how we think? Well, sit down for a second and let me help you out, okay? This is how we interpret the situation. First of all, why are you telling the public his financial information? Why? What's the reason? Let's start there. Nope, let's put a pin in that. Okay? Now, who is he? Floyd Money Mayweather. Okay? Successful boxer. 50-0, undefeated. Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. He fought a little bit more after that. But 50-0. Let's just go there. All right? Very successful. Most highly paid boxer ever. Okay?